Hello to everyone. It's Thursday, the 20th of January, 2022. And this is going to be a training specifically dedicated to our iDecide tool, which we have available for all our partners. So I think a lot of people are still joining in this room and other rooms, as well as on the social media channels. So those who are watching us on, let's say, on a Facebook, please do share this video to your private groups, open groups, so people get an information, more information about the iDecide tool, how to use it, and well, basically the topics which will be for today is how to use this specific tool to grow our business, your business. And the person who will I invite in a minute will be covering topics like what is iDecide and why it works, how to use it, and iDecide best practices. All right, so I hope you're all ready. I'm going to be very much interested to know more how to use this tool, because I also have purchased it, and I'm sure there is so much more that we need to know in order to use this tool in a best possible way. So I'm going to give the floor to our speaker, James McKinney. I hope I pronounced you correctly. Are you here with us?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. We can't see you. Maybe camera. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Hello.
Hello.
Once again. Nice to see you again. How is everything?
Very
All good with you?
you?
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I wish.
It's good evening for you then, correct?
It's 7 o'clock for me here in Dubai, yes. But that's how we do. I think that the time doesn't stop us from doing what we love. So I'm not gonna, take much time to speak about myself anymore, because I'm sure a lot of people know who I am. So I guess I give the floor to you, and you can share your screen, because I think you have been given all the rights. If not, then just let us know. Yeah, everything is working. So you are translated in different rooms as well. So remember to keep the speech not too slow, but slower than probably you would normally talk, because you are translated in the other rooms as well. And obviously it will make easier job to our translators. Otherwise they might miss something, or something will be translated not correctly. So yeah, just remember that, please.
Okay, perfect. Well, if I go too fast, please let me know and I'll slow down, because sometimes I get excited about this stuff and I go too fast. But I'll try and keep it slow. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world today. So I'm happy to explain iDecide to you today. The tool has been working phenomenally well for Evorich. And I want to go through a couple of different topics with you, just to make sure it's working as well for you. So again, we're going to cover what is iDecide and why it works. So the philosophy, the concept behind it. We'll also cover how to use it, because that's important. There are ways to use it effectively that I want to share with you. And of course, we'll cover best practices. So tips that you can use to make your use more effective and help you grow your business faster using iDecide. So let's jump right in with what is iDecide and why it works so well. So this is the primary reason it works so well, is because 91% of people admit to daydreaming during presentations. So almost 9 out of 10 admit to it. So that means the number is probably higher. And that's in any presentation. That's in this one right now. So right now, some of you on the call are probably looking at your phone. You're checking emails, checking your texts, you're checking WhatsApp. You're drifting away from what I'm saying, and that's okay. I don't take it personally, because that's just human nature. That's just the way we are. But that's our challenge, right? In presenting a story or a business or a product, our challenge is not that the product or the business is not good enough. The challenge is that people are not paying attention the way they should. And even online, video and in person, you see there the attention span of people online is only 8 seconds. So that's how fast our minds shift or drift. 8 seconds when you're looking online. With a video, it's only 90 seconds. So people think, you know, I can send someone a video and they'll watch the whole thing, you know, because the video is fantastic. It doesn't necessarily mean that the video is bad or good. It's just that people's attention span is only 90 seconds. And even in person, you have 5 minutes. So even if you meet someone in person at a coffee shop or a restaurant to share the story, share the message, you've got 5 minutes before their attention starts to drift. And again, we don't take it personally, right? Hopefully you don't take it personally. That's just human nature. And so this is what we're up against, and we have to fix it, right? We have to overcome it. So that's why iDecide was created. And we said, well, what if presentations were fun? So people actually liked watching them. What if they were professional and they worked, they were effective? Short, we want to keep them short, right? We don't want to keep, you know, because of the previous screen, we don't want to keep, make a presentation too long. What if they were smart and gave us the data? And we'll talk about that in a second. And what if they were duplicatable? So a fantastic recruiting tool. One of the reasons iDecide is so, companies that people that use iDecide are so successful is because it's very simple for a new person to come on board and experience the same success that the top performers in the company are having. Because it's very simple. People say, well, what do I do? How do I explain it? You don't explain it. You just send them the iDecide presentation and let the presentation do the work. So it's very simple. It's very duplicatable if everyone does the same thing. So that's iDecide Interactive. It's a personalized, short, fully automated, multimedia interactive presentation. Okay, so what does all that mean? Well, personalized, it has the person's name in the presentation, right? And that alone has been proven to increase engagement threefold. So just having the person's name in it increases the engagement. It's short, fully automated means just with a few clicks, you can send it and it's done. It does the presentation for you. It's multimedia, so we have graphics and videos and animations and interactions in there. So it's, again, entertaining and keeps their attention. But number one, the overall difference maker with iDecide is it's interactive. So it allows the viewer to decide what they want to see. So it'll ask them questions throughout and ask them what they're interested in learning more about. So it's not wasting their time on things they have no interest in, because remember, we don't have their attention for very long. We've got to capitalize on that attention span. So we let them tell us what they want to learn about. Okay, so this is what iDecide is. And I know this slide is a lot of words, but it's don't let it overwhelm you. You can create and send an iDecide through text, email, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, anywhere and any way you can send someone a message. You can send someone an iDecide presentation. When you do that, they'll get a link, right? So they'll receive the WhatsApp, they'll get a link in the WhatsApp, they'll click the unique link and their screen comes to life. That's all they have to do is click it and boom, the presentation starts. They answer questions and choose to see only what they're interested in seeing. Again, huge difference maker. You receive text or email notifications when they start to watch and again at the end. So you'll know when someone watches a presentation, you'll know when they finished it, and you can follow up accordingly. You'll see the status on their dashboard next to the contact's name. So it'll tell you if the presentation was sent, whether it was started, and we'll cover that in a second. And it'll also send you follow-up reminders to let you know, okay, I have to follow up with this person because they haven't called me yet or they haven't taken any action. So those are some of the benefits. And I just want you to know it works. So this isn't to brag or you know, toot our own horn. This is basically to give you the confidence in knowing that iDecide works. We had one company that was experienced 70–80% close rates in the first 45 days of using iDecide. Another company was doing 500 new associates a month before iDecide. first 2 weeks after launching, they did 2,000 new associates. One of a master distributor with one of our companies said that she has a 90% close rate when set up effectively, correctly with prospects. We'll talk about exactly how to set it up correctly. And another gentleman said he's been 25 years full-time in network marketing. He's never seen as much excitement and energy as with the launch of iDecide. So I just, again, want to give you the confidence that the tool works, and it is working for you because we have the data that shows that. So let's continue on with how to use it. So, okay, we understand it works. We understand why it works. How do you use it? Well, let's just go through step by step on how to send a presentation so you can see how simple it is to actually do. So you log in for the first time to your iDecide back office, and you'll see this screen. Well, first time you log in, you'll see tutorials. So it'll walk you through a tutorial video on how to use it. They're very short, so you can learn how to use it very quickly. And if you ever want a refresher, you'll see here, this is your iDecide dashboard. You'll see that there's a tutorial tile here, so you can go watch the tutorials again. You can, you'll see FAQs here. You'll see your account information. Oops. You can post a link, and you'll see your contact list. So we'll show you exactly, again, what all those mean in a moment. And you'll also see your analytics tab there as well. But first thing you want to do is add a contact, because you'll see here your names list is currently empty. So you can add someone by clicking here, or on the bottom left, you'll see the plus sign, and you can add a contact here as well. You can also import using a CSV file. So if you do have a list that you want to upload, you can do that through here. But for today, we're just going to assume we click the button to add a single contact. Boom. This screen will pop up and ask you to enter the first and last name of the contact. So if you don't know the last name, that's okay. The last name is not really relevant. Only the first name appears in the presentation. And this is the only required field. You'll see the asterisk. So the name is the only required field. You can add all the other information if you like. So you can put notes. For example, I met Mike at a supermarket and told him I would send him a presentation. Whatever notes you want to put here, you can. And you click save. Once you click save, now this person is added to your contact list. And you'll see on the right that it says, it'll tell you when it was sent. And this says it was never sent, because we haven't sent a presentation yet, right? We just entered the name. So now if we want to send Mike a presentation, we click on his name, and this screen pops up. So now we choose which presentation we want to send him. So we'll click the drop-down menu, and this box will show us all the presentations that are available. You click the one you want to send. So if I want to send Mike the English version, click on that. And then it tells you the invitation has been created. So now you have two choices. You can copy a full message, and there's a default message in here that also has the link in it, the personalized link for this person, or you can copy just the link. So if I want to copy this into a text message or WhatsApp, I can just copy it to my clipboard, and I can add another message to it, or I can just send them the link, however you like to do it. But you'll choose one of these options to copy it to the clipboard, and then it will close. So here you'll also, by the way, choose how you'd like to be notified. So if you have your phone number entered into the system, it'll ask you if you want to send email updates or text updates. So if I choose to just copy the link, do that. And now you'll see that it shows it was sent, and it tells you the time it was sent. Now, understand it wasn't really sent, right? Because you copied it to the clipboard of your device. You'll then have to send it however you want to send it, but our system assumes that since you copied it, you are sending it. So it will show sent here. So if you have 10, 15, 20, 30 contacts here, you'll see next to all of them the status of each one. So you can say, okay, I sent it to Mike, but he hasn't opened it yet. Let me follow up with him if he hasn't opened it in a day, for example. So that's it. That was really 3 clicks to send a presentation. You enter the name, you click on his name, you choose the presentation, copy the link to the clipboard. Done. That's it. So next, when Mike gets that link from you and he clicks it, this is what he is going to see. So right away, he'll see his name in it or her name, right? So right away, they're going to know, okay, this is different. This is something I have not seen before. Remember we said entering, just having their name in the presentation increases engagement 3-fold. As soon as they see the screen, they know, okay, what's going on? This is not a video. This is something I've never seen before. And it also has your information here. So it lets them know right off the bat, this is an interactive presentation. So again, we're piquing their interest. There's a lot of psychology that goes behind this. And it has your name and email address, so they know it's not spam. And then they click play. Once they do, they start to watch the presentation. If you check back on your contact list, you'll see that the status has changed. Once that person clicks the link to watch it, you'll know because it says started to watch it. You'll also get the notification through email or text, whichever one you chose. So now the status of that presentation changes, and that person has watched the presentation. The other way to send a presentation is through posting a link on social media. So the most effective way by far is to do what we just did, is to add the contact, send them the presentation. That way they just click the link and start to watch the presentation. It has their name in it already, and they're all set and good to go. The other way, as I said, is through posting a link. So if we click on that, this box will also appear asking you to choose which presentation you want to post. And you'll then click next, and it will create a link for you to copy and paste on social media. But understand that when the person clicks on your link using the post a link, they will be required to enter their name and email address. So it tells them we will not share their information, but people are still scared, right? They're still apprehensive about entering their data nowadays, right? So they can, of course, put a fake name in here and a fake email address if they wanted to. But the reason we require this is so that when they enter their name, it automatically gets put into the presentation when they click watch, right? Because we don't want to lose that personalization and that 3-fold engagement increase. And we want you to be able to follow up with them. So when the person enters their name and email and starts to watch the presentation, their name gets added into the presentation. It also gets added into your contact list. So Susan enters her name and email address, she clicks watch, and bang, now the presentation will start the same as the previous way. So we'll have her name in it, we'll have your information in it, and she will watch the presentation. And now Susan's name is added automatically to your contact list. And we'll tell you exactly what time she watched the presentation. So understand you have 2 options in sending a presentation. You could send it directly to a person, as we did with Mike, or you can create a link and post it on social media. That will require them to enter their name and email address, and then that will automatically be added to your contact list. So 2 ways to do that. Here's a tip. If you use a post a link, include a message that will make them want to enter their info and watch it. So we've had people email our support and say, I posted this on social media and nobody's clicking it. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't just click on random links that I see online either, right? We're afraid of getting a virus, or we don't know what this is. So you have to include a message that's going to entice me to want to click on it and want to watch it. So for an example, this interactive presentation will blow your mind. You'll thank me later. Something that's going to create that curiosity and make me want to click on it. So just a helpful tip there. When you use post a link, the success rates will drop anyway from the personalized links, because again, people are leery of entering their information into anything. But if you don't add a message intriguing them, the rates will drop even further. So we just want to make sure we manage the expectations. The other way to send presentations is through our app. So we have a mobile app for iOS and Android, and that's what the icon looks like. So if you go to your app store, you'll just enter iDecide Interactive, download it, it's totally free. And you'll log in the same way you do on the website. So you'll use your email address and password to log in. And you'll have a contact screen here too. So the two systems are interconnected. So if you enter names on your computer through the web, they will automatically appear when you log into your app as well. But this makes it a little easier to upload names from your phone, upload contacts from your phone. So you can enter a new contact here the same way we did earlier, or you can import them directly from your phone. So you can choose, okay, I want to start click enter a new contact, and you'll enter the information the same as you did on the web version, and you'll save it and they'll be good to go. Or you can import it. And when it's imported, this is a cool feature. When you import, you can choose to add a single person or multiple people. So for example, you don't want to add everyone in your phone, right? Because you don't want to, maybe you don't want to send a presentation to your grandmother. So you don't have to, you can add one single person or multiple people, either one. And if you choose multiple people, you can actually click which ones you want to send the presentation, you want to upload, and maybe not add these people. You just select the ones that you want to add and click done. And those people are automatically added to your app, added to your contact list. So very simple to use the app as well. Now to send a presentation, you'll click on the name that you want to send it to. And you decide whether you want to text them or email them. And this will actually access the email or text app right on your phone. So if you want to email them, boom, here you go. It'll create a new text message using your text app or your email account. So very simple, everything's done for you, pre-populated, and you just click the send button and it's good to go. All right, let's go through a couple of best practices. And again, if I'm going too fast, I apologize, but everything we're talking about here is in the tutorial videos. So don't feel like you have to get it all now or you'll miss it. You can go to the FAQs, to the tutorial videos. You can always email our support team at hi@iDecide, iDecide.com, and they'll help you as well. But a couple of tips. Definitely watch the tutorials. So we found that 98% of the questions that people ask are in the tutorials. So absolutely email us if you need the help. But if you want your answer quicker, just watch the tutorials and the answers are probably in there. iDecide is not a video. We say it's what videos want to be when they grow up. But the reason that's important to note is because if you refer to it as a video, it cheapens their impression of the presentation. So if you tell somebody, for example, hey, I'm going to send you a short video to watch, immediately their mind is going to go to another video. I've seen a million videos, everybody's sending me videos to watch. And it makes it sound like you're sending them just another video. But if you say, I'm going to send you a cool interactive presentation, now they think, okay, no one sent me one of those before. Let me see what that's about. So again, very small, subtle difference, but it makes a huge difference in the way the prospect perceives what you're sending them. So we want to make sure you don't refer to it as a video. A couple of quick issues that we've received recently, just to go over some tips. People say, I'm not receiving the notifications. Well, number one, if you're choosing email notifications, check your spam folder. Once you mark it that it's not spam, you'll get the future ones in your inbox, but check your spam folder first. Make sure your email and phone number are entered correctly into your iDecide system. So you'll just go into your back office, click account, and just make sure everything's correct. You may have misspelled your email address or your phone number, and that's why you're not getting the notifications. The notifications are sent when the presentation is started, not when the link is opened. So if you send me a presentation I click on the link. I see that screen with my name on it that we saw earlier, you know, where it says your name and your name and email address and the prospect's name. If I see that information, but now maybe I say, oh, this looks cool, I'm going to watch it later when I'm not driving or when I have a couple of minutes. You won't get the notification then because they haven't started to watch the presentation yet. So if you haven't received the notification, that could mean that they did not start to watch it yet. They just clicked the link. Definitely send a personalized presentation whenever possible, not a post a link, because the personalized presentation does not require them to enter any information. All they do is click and watch. So the success rates are much higher when you personalize it. It takes a couple of extra seconds, but it's worth it. Don't just send someone a presentation link. Send a personal message along with it. We touched on that, but it's super important. So this is the company I was telling you about. The presentation's interactive, so you'll have fun with it, enjoy, whatever it is that you would say to set it up properly. So remember earlier I mentioned that one of our master distributors with another company was having a 90% success rate when set up correctly. This is what we mean by setting it up correctly. So you can't just send somebody a link. You have to make sure you explain it and share your excitement along with the link. All right, you don't want to say too much because now you're doing the job of the presentation, but you have to say something that conveys your excitement so that it makes them want to watch it. That's what we mean by setting it up correctly. Even better still, prepare them verbally. So give them a call and say, hey, you know, tell them a little bit about it. Evorich, pique their interest a little bit and say, you know what, I'm not going to tell you too much. I'm just going to send you a cool interactive presentation for you to watch. So 90% close rate when prepped properly. Don't tell them too much. That's what the presentation is for. Tell them why you're excited and that they're going to love the presentation. Okay. So again, just simple, just take the couple of extra seconds to prepare people and set it up properly, and your results will go through the roof. Follow-up is key, right? This is and always will be a people business. So when you see that someone started to watch the presentation, but maybe you didn't get the notification that they chose anything, they didn't want to get started, or they didn't want to become a member, well, follow up with them, give them a call. iDecide is incredible, but it still requires follow-up, right? So if you see that I started to watch the presentation and then I've watched maybe one section, but then that was it, call me and say, hey, I noticed you watched the presentation, you got started. Just call them and see if there are any questions I can answer for you, or would you like me to set up a call so to have your questions answered for you? You know, so definitely don't be afraid to follow up. Follow-up is key. Don't record an iDecide presentation or post it anywhere. So you cannot do a screen capture or screen record and record it and post it somewhere. Number one, it's a violation of our terms of use. iDecide have to be used in the iDecide platform. And if you do that anyway, it's not going to work, right? Because then you basically just created another video that doesn't have interactions to it. You're not letting them choose what they want to see. It just will not work. So it's a violation of our terms of use. It is a compliance issue for the company, for Evorich, because one of the cool things about iDecide is that when a change is made to the presentation by corporate, all presentations are changed in real time. So if you sent me a link 3 weeks ago and Evorich made a change to the presentation yesterday, if I click that link today, even though you sent it to me weeks ago, I will see the most up-to-date presentation with the changes that were made yesterday. So that's incredibly important for compliance, because if Evorich makes a change, you need to be showing people the most up-to-date presentation. So yeah, just don't do it. Don't record it. Don't post it somewhere other than using the post the link. It doesn't work. So we've made it a violation of our terms of use, and your account can be closed. It's just got a lot of problems associated with it. So just use it the way it's supposed to be used. Use it, have fun with it, promote it. You guys get paid on it. So you're the first company that we've done this with where you actually, if someone subscribes to iDecide through Evorich, it pays through your compensation grid. So that's incredible. So you'll benefit when they subscribe, but you'll also benefit from the increased sales and recruiting that's done through using iDecide. So you get a double benefit there. Presentations will continue to be improved based on the data. So we just recently reviewed the data with you guys in December, and your close rate was almost 44%. So 44% of the people, that's almost half of the people that watched one of your presentation chose to either get started or get a phone call. There was a positive outcome, which is what we consider a close. So 44%. And we've only been with you guys for a couple of months. So we'll continue to watch the presentation, the presentation data, and continue to make changes to it. We know which parts people are watching, which parts they're not watching, which parts may be too long, where we're losing them, where they're dropping off, so that we can adjust those parts of the presentation. So yeah, we haven't done a lot of changes to your presentation yet because we're still analyzing the data, but it's still performing very, very well. So 44%. If you do have questions, please contact us about iDecide. Don't contact Evorich. We're here to help you guys. We'll answer you within 48 hours. Typically it's within a few hours, but yeah, hi@idecide.com will get you the best and the fastest response. But again, utilize the tutorials and the FAQs whenever possible. And we can set up these trainings. By the way, we have trainers. Our trainers are busy, as you can imagine, but if we schedule them far enough in advance, if you have a large team, we can do team trainings for you. We can do whatever we can do to help you grow, to help you use the product more effectively. We want to do that for you. Any suggestions, please send them to hi@idecide.com as well. We want to hear your feedback, good and bad. So please let us know what's working for you, what's not, so we can share those best practices with everybody. We can make cool adjustments to the product. I mean, a lot of the stuff that we do now with iDecide is directly related to feedback we've gotten from the field, people using it on a daily basis. So please let us know if there's anything you think we need to do to make the product better. All right, let's see. I think we have a couple of people in the chat. Okay, for each post a link, do we need to initiate a new one? Great question. No, for the post a link, you don't need to initiate a new one, because for every time you use it, because they are entering their name before they're allowed to see it.
I'm sorry, what's the new one? So what does it mean? I didn't get it.
So if you want, I believe they're referring to if you want to post one on Facebook, and then you also want to post one on, Instagram. So do you need to create a new link for both of those? No, you don't. You can use the same one. Because again, they'll be entering their name before they can watch it. So that's not unique. That link is not unique. But when you're creating one, obviously, if I create one for John, I'm not going to send that link to Sue, right? Because it's going to have John's name in it. For the post a link, though, it does not have to be unique. All right, any other questions?
Yes, great presentation, James. Thank you so much. I think you have covered quite a lot of
That's a lot of information.
things, quite a lot of topics. And here is Elena's feedback. I have been using and I really love iDecide. I follow up, and the follow-up is important. Sometimes she forgets, but for that, obviously, there are some reminders coming through to the email till you click. I guess that you have reached out to the person, or I think it was 3 times, right? That the iDecide automated system reminds to reach out to the person.
Yeah, so you'll get reminder notifications 1 day, 3 days, and 5 days after they watched it, telling you to follow up with them. If you get the reminder on day 1, for example, and you've already followed up, there's a button in the notification that you can click. So it turns off the future notifications, and you don't get those again. So we don't want to bombard you with reminders when you've already followed up. But yeah, we try and help you as much as we can and remind you to follow up, but it is tough sometimes. That's also one of the benefits of looking at that contact list. So you can see the status of each of those in one place, right? So you can see which ones have watched it, which ones have not started. If you send me a link and 5 days later, I still haven't watched it, that may require a phone call. Hey, just a reminder, I sent you a link the other day to that cool interactive presentation. And they might say, oh, you're right, I forgot about that. I was going to watch it when I got home and then I forgot. Thanks for the reminder. So follow-up is important, not only after they watch it, but if they haven't watched it, right? Because life happens, life gets in the way, and that sometimes we forget.
Okay, good answer. And Khalid is asking, are bonuses the same as average marketing plan? Khalid, if I understand you correctly, then yes, if any of your partners purchasing iDecide product, then you also receive your bonuses according to our marketing plan. James, another question is still regarding this first page where people have to input their names and contact details. Last time you said that there is a possibility to integrate maybe these details somewhere in the middle of the presentation. So yeah, the question was, is this still the case, or is it in a process, or it's not happening?
It is in the process.
It's again from the Italians and Russian speaking community.
Yeah, we are in the process of doing that, but apparently it's not as easy as we thought, because it is a change to our entire system. So our entire system was built where if they enter the name, it's added to the contact list and added to the presentation. So it's not as easy as it sounded, where we can just move that to the middle of the presentation. So, but we do have a couple of ideas for you. So we'll talk about those offline, about how we may be able to, put a temporary fix on it until that programming is complete.
Okay, great. You see, partners, again, when you think about the idea, if you put things on a paper, it sounds and looks easy, but when you start doing it, you face different challenges. It's not just us, it's also other companies and other products.
It sounds so easy. When we talk to our programmers, like, all we want to do is this. And they said, well, that's a lot more than just that. They've informed us that there are millions of lines of code that were written, millions, to create iDecide. And when a change is made in the programming world, sometimes that change affects, thousands of other lines of code. So it sounds easy when we ask them to do it, but apparently it's not as easy as we would like.
Okay, well, as long as we know that it's in the process and some changes are about to come in place. Translators, maybe you can indicate if there are any other questions in other rooms. But as I said, you just, you covered quite a lot of topics, and you covered all the issues that have been raised to you directly, and it was just straightforward.
Yeah,
so I think it's quite clear.
It's a lot of information, but again, don't get overwhelmed by it. The tutorials will cover everything we just talked about. And I don't know if you're able to post this recording somewhere, but that might be helpful as well, that people can access it again later on or get a copy of it to watch it again. Maybe at their own
Yeah,
pace.
that's why we do this in multiple languages at the same time with the translation, so we can use this afterwards as a material for the partners. There is a question or two questions from the Italian room. Good afternoon. How can I send my own link to Evorich, and when someone registers, it will stay under my name? I'm just checking quickly the translation if it's correct. Yes, so how can I send my own link to Evorich? And when someone registers, it will stay under my name. And does the tool have a limit on the number of friends? Thanks.
So I believe what they're asking is when you send an Evorich presentation to make sure if they click that that person is registered under you. That should be done automatically. So once you purchase the iDecide system, the Evorich system tells us what your unique link is to your replicated website. And at the end of the presentation, when they click to get started, they're sent directly to your page so that they will stay under your name. I believe that's what she's asking. So you get credit.
Let's find out if we have replied. Let's ask this person if we have answered the question correctly.
And there,
How can I send
the
my
second
own
part
link?
was, I think you said, is there a limit to how many people can be in the names list? There's not a limit, but it shouldn't be used as a CRM where you enter thousands of names into it, because that will slow it down. Put in as many as you could effectively follow up with. That's what we suggest. So put in, if you're uploading them from your phone, put in 100. That way over the next month, you can send the presentations and then follow up with them effectively. There's no point in putting 3,000 names in there and that you're not going to be able to follow up with. So there's not a limit. We want you to use it as much as you can, but we want you to use it effectively. We don't want you to think that you can just send a link, create a post link, send it to everybody in the world and wake up tomorrow morning and you're going to be wealthy. That's not how it works, right? So if I only have a name and phone number, but no email address, is that okay? Absolutely, yeah. The name is the only required field. So you can just enter their name, that's it, create the link, and then text it to them because you have the phone number, that's fine, yep.
So it means if you create a contact in the contact list yourself, then there is no need for all these details, right? You can even get along with the name only.
Yep.
And send a link to the person. If the person makes all this pre-registration to watch the presentation, then they have to put all these details in. Is that correct? Or
just the name and the email. If through the post link, they have to enter their name and their email. If you're creating a link for them specifically, you just need their name.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so here,
I just forgot.
So if you're if you're entering just there, if you're creating the name for creating the presentation specifically for them, you just need the name, first and last name. You don't even really need the last name. You have to enter it, but it doesn't have to be even correct, right? It has to be in our system. But for example, you might meet somebody who works at ABC company and you don't know Mike's last name. So you could just put Mike ABC, just as a reminder of where you met Mike, because ABC will not appear in the presentation. So you see the asterisk here, that's the only required field. So the rest of it is up to you. So you can fill it all out or leave it blank.
Okay. What happens in the case when the person, let's say, is using this tool for a year or 2 or 3, and obviously, you have a big contact list and a lot of does it disappear at some point, the entire contact list they have gone through? What happens to those people that says no? Are they staying in the system or they are somewhere stored at some point, or what happens to the contact? Because you said don't put a lot of contact details in the system because it will slow down. But what if the person uses the system quite actively? Let's say a year or 2, there will be, they're expecting probably to have a huge list.
Great question. Yeah, so once I hover over the name, you'll see this edit button appears right here. And here I can edit the contact or delete the contact from here.
Okay.
So if I just click that and maybe I spelled Mike's name wrong and I wanted to fix it before I send it, I can click the edit button and make a change. Or if I want to change the notes, I can click on it, click on the edit button and make additions or changes to the notes, or I can just delete that contact altogether and it'll be removed from the list. Great question.
Okay. Mhm. And in case the person doesn't delete anything, will
No.
they receive like a notification that they have to delete it to make the system work faster, or it's just
No,
going
we
to
don't
stay
want to
with the
delete them
thousands of things?
without, we don't want to make any changes without your permission. So we just leave it up to you. What we would suggest is probably after, okay, I followed up with Mike, he became a member. I don't need him in my list anymore. Let me just delete him. That way the only ones in my list are the ones I'm actively working on. And just to maintain it that way, just as you would a CRM.
I guess just clean up, your list
Yeah.
with the notes, or maybe put them somewhere on another system like a Google Sheet or another contact list table, and just leave this iDecide platform for active members, or for those that you need to reach out to or follow up with.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
All right.
Any other questions? Because, as I said, once again, it was a great presentation, straightforward, covered a lot, and it will be, it is recorded.
There is a question. I have iDecide, and may I use registration link of my wife? This is the first question. So he's a husband, and can he use the registration link for iDecide of his wife?
Yeah, you'd have to just email us with the link the registration link, so we can change it in the system.
So in case they want to re-register the account user, right? Then they have to send you.
Yeah, we don't allow accounts to be transferred, but if you just want to change the registration link at the end, we can do that for you. So just email us at hi@idecide.com and we will. So you can't transfer it to a whole different person, say, well, that person's no longer active with Evorich. I want to use their iDecide account. We don't allow that. But if you just want to change the link at the end that people are sent to when watching the presentation, we can do that for you.
Okay. Olga, what is the second question?
Actually, I'm done. My question was about the way to expand the structure of myself and my wife. So I wanted to ask whether I can do it or not. And could you please once again share the address of the email address of the support team where we can write it down to request you to change this link?
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by expanding it. Two people aren't allowed to share the same account. So if you have a husband and wife who are both active in Evorich, then they would both need their own iDecide account. But I'm not sure if I understand the question correctly. Is that what you mean, Olga?
We're still waiting for the answer from the Spanish room.
Okay.
No response.
Okay, well, they can email us if they have further questions and we can work with them individually. That's no problem.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
All right, if we don't have any more questions, then I guess we can wrap up this webinar training. And thank you so much once again for being here with us and supporting us and giving us all this information, clearing up some questions, and yeah, just be there for us when we need it.
Very good. Thank you everyone for having me. We'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.